Hello, Lakers Nation. My name is Trevor Lane, senior writer for LakersNation.com. We are right back at it again. Yesterday, we broke down the top 5 point guard free agents for the Lakers to look at. Today, we're moving on to the shooting guards. We're going to be talking about those guys that can play a little bit of defense as well as knock down some big shots for your Lakers next season. We're going to dive right in just a moment. First, quick shout out to our sponsor, Uptime Energy Drinks. How energy should feel. You can find them at 7-Eleven, GNC, and Amazon.com. And, of course, betonline.ag. All you have to do is go to clnsmedia.com/LeBron and then enter the promo code CLNS50 to get a 50% bonus on your first deposit. All right, let's dive right in. Number 5 on my list, the younger brother of Steph, Seth Curry. Now look, Seth Curry came off the bench for the Blazers last season, but he is a tremendous shooter. In fact, when I started digging into his stats, I was amazed by how good he actually is. Check this out. Seth Curry shot 45% from 3 last season. That's amazing enough. But he ranked per synergy in the 99th percentile as a spot-up shooter. That is the best of the best. That is beyond elite. That is incredible. So imagine you have a guy of that caliber that you're kicking out to when the defense is focused on LeBron James or Anthony Davis. That would be a tremendous benefit for the Lakers. You can probably get him for a little bit cheaper than some of the other guys on this list as well. So a lot to like right there. Some concerns, certainly he's a little bit undersized, has a bit of an injury history at 6'2". Can you use him as your starting shooting guard? That's certainly questionable, so not sure there if he can really be the starter for the Lakers, but nonetheless, worth a real solid look because of the shooting that he can bring to this Lakers team. Number 4, Redick spent the last few seasons with the Philadelphia 76ers, just turned 35 years old, so that's certainly something to consider. You're not going to be tossing him a 4-year deal or anything like that, but doesn't seem to be slowing down. Actually played 31 minutes per game for the Sixers last season and is just as deadly as ever. 40% from 3 this last season while scoring 18.1 points per game in those 31 minutes. He's in the 80th percentile coming off screens. Now, this is what I really like about him for the Lakers. No, he's not a great defender or anything like that, and he can set up guys a little bit, but with him it's about the shooting and the fact that he can do it coming off of screens. You can run him off all kinds of curls. He is tremendous at squaring his shoulders to the basket and still getting off a good look even in tough situations, and that is something that the Lakers could certainly use and something that they haven't had in a few seasons. So a guy like Redick would be a tremendous fit alongside AD and LeBron and give the offense a ton of other options, tons of wrinkles that you can throw in when you have a guy like Redick that you can run off multiple screens and then fire up a great look. Number 3, Terrence Ross from the Orlando Magic. On the younger end at 27 years old, he's getting right into his prime. Very solid player. I didn't know this till I started digging into him. His nickname is the Human Torch. How perfect is that? The Human Torch, because he absolutely goes crazy. He starts shooting fire as soon as he comes off the bench for the Orlando Magic. Per 48 minutes, he shoots up as many threes as guys like D'Angelo Russell, Kemba Walker, players like that, even Paul George. So we're talking all-star level players. Terrence Ross is not afraid to come out shooting. Launches 7 threes per game in just about 26 minutes out there on the floor. So that in and of itself is somewhat impressive. Now, we can't just say that he's a gunner, though, because he's actually a pretty efficient scorer as well. Did a really nice job knocking in threes. He also excels working out of the pick and roll. He can score out of pick and roll situations. So he is more than just a shooter. And that's why I've got him at 3 here on this list, because he's not a guy that you're just going to run off of a screen or off of a curl. He's not a guy that's just going to spot up, though he can do those things. He can also properly execute the pick and roll as the ball handler. And that is an added benefit. Not that the Lakers will be doing that all the time with a guy like LeBron James on the floor, but it's something that you can still use. He's also a pretty decent size player, so he's able to switch between the 2 and the 3 pretty seamlessly and play solid defense. So number 3 on our list, Terrence Ross, certainly worth a look. I think he's going to get paid this summer just like a lot of these guys, but worth checking out. Number 2, the 3-and-D shooting guard. And you say 3-and-D guard, this is the guy you think of, Danny Green. Danny Green has won championships with the San Antonio Spurs and now with the Toronto Raptors. Tremendous player. I love the way that he plays within himself. He doesn't try to do anything out of character. He doesn't try to make any crazy plays or anything like that. He focuses on locking down his man defensively and playing good team defense and then converting threes. almost all of his shots are threes. He barely shoots anything else on the floor. He actually only shoots about 7 shots per game, and over 5 of them are three-pointers. Now, this last season, he shot 46% from 3, and my goodness, if he can continue doing that, that is brilliant stuff. You got to love that kind of efficiency from him. Just turned 32 years old, so you got to worry a little bit about some declining athleticism because of that, but he sure looked fine in the finals this year. He can play and guard the other team's best players, so that's another benefit for having him out there on the floor alongside AD and LeBron. He's going to feast on all those open looks. A little bit of concern, though. I think that because he just won a championship, this is a guy who's going to really get paid, and he's going to get paid a lot. And look, the Spurs didn't really hesitate much to throw him into the Kawhi Leonard trade because that season with San Antonio, he shot just 36% from 3. He really struggled until he had this resurgence this last season with the Toronto Raptors. So you do have to be a little bit worried about some sort of regression back to the Danny Green that we saw in his final season with the Spurs because that was not so good. Okay, but if we get the Danny Green that you saw with the Toronto Raptors this season, certainly worth the price. You're probably talking $12 million and up to get Danny Green, but he is one of the best of the best as far as a 3-and-D role player goes. Number 1 on the list. Oh gosh, it almost pains me to say this one. You're not going to get him. All right, almost certainly he is not going to become a Los Angeles Laker, but let's dream for a moment, okay? Number 1 is Klay Thompson. Okay, almost certainly he is going to re-sign with the Golden State Warriors. Plus, complicating things, he has a torn ACL, which means he's going to miss most of next season, which doesn't make him as attractive an option for a Lakers team that really needs guys who can get in there and play right here and right now. But man, if they could get him, and look, it would take max money. You're talking $32 million or so to get him. We don't even know if the Lakers can get to that yet. But if there is any way, if Michael Thompson, his dad, can somehow talk him into joining the Lakers, something happens, and suddenly Klay starts to look towards the Lakers. Maybe Golden State declines to give him a full max contract, and then he starts to look at the Lakers. If you can wait, he would be a perfect fit. This is a guy who scored 21.5 points per game last season. He's 6'7", so he's got great size. He shot 40% from 3, and that's actually a downturn for him because he's usually an even more efficient three-point shooter. And I tell you what I love about Klay. He's got such a quick release, and his form is picture perfect every time. And you add that to his size, and it makes his shot incredibly difficult to stop. Imagine LeBron streaming down the floor with Anthony Davis running one wing and Klay Thompson right there trailing. If you converge on AD and forget about Klay, he's going to be raining threes all over the place. Would be an amazing fit. And you got to love what he can do defensively. He's a guy that you can put on the other team's best player in crunch time situations, and you know that he's going to make not only the big play, he's going to make the smart play. He defends without fouling. He is great at reaching into the last minute and getting steals and blocks. He is a tremendous all-around player. No, he's not going to take guys off the dribble a ton, but he stays within himself. He knocks in shots, and he plays tremendous defense. So, look, probably not going to happen, like I said, but he would be the ideal shooting guard for the Lakers to go get. All right, what do you guys think? Do you agree with this list? Think that it's not right? Think somebody else should be on here? Go ahead and chime in the comments below. And by the way, let me throw this in. If you're looking for guys for names like Jimmy Butler and Chris Middleton and those other ones that aren't on here, well, guess what? They're going to be coming up tomorrow on the small forward list. So keep that in mind. If there's somebody that you think is obviously missing, they're probably showing up as a small forward because a lot of these guys do switch between those positions. All right, give us your comments below. Let me know what you think. I'll be responding to some of them. Don't forget to follow Lakers Nation on social media at Lakers Nation on Twitter and Facebook, at Lakers Nation Official on Instagram. And of course, make sure you hit that subscribe button here on the Lakers Nation YouTube channel. Till next time, see ya.